Let's move to Tennessee.
Yeah, another early Heisman contender.
Yeah.
Joe Milton, bro. I love him. I love his game,
That's
bro.
interesting to me that he's an early Heisman contender after having not started.
Yeah. I mean, but in his limited time, I mean, and I know you know this. I'm not trying to persuade you, but bro, in his limiting time, I mean, damn, he's got a freaking cannon on him. Yeah. He could run the ball. He in his time too. Like in I think he started 3 games. We got somebody, and then Vandy, and then Clemson. And in those games, bro, just perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude, to say the least, he's Hendon Hooker 2.0. And Hendon, I mean, if he didn't get hurt, he might have been in New York. Well, no, because they dropped the game. But anyway, truly has the makings to be one of the best players in the country. I think him coming back, I say coming back, he didn't start last year, but I think him stepping in is going to be, I don't think you lose any production from Hooker. Yeah. I don't think that's crazy to say.
Okay, so before we get into Joe Milton and the potential quarterback battle, I think Joe Milton will start. But before we get into that, let's just talk about what they lose on offense. Some of their biggest playmakers. They lose Hendon Hooker, who we're talking about. I think those shoes are going to be filled. That's a big ask, but I think those shoes are going to be filled.
Yeah.
And then they also lose at wide receiver Cedric Tillman and Jalen Hyatt.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be one of the biggest blows to any wide receiver room in the country.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, that's rough for them. Okay.
Looking at it, that's the biggest blow to any, Because wide receiver, Ohio State only lost 1.
Yeah. All right, so now let's get into that potential quarterback competition. I'm with you. I do think Joe Milton's going to start on day 1. Nico Iamaleava might make a push.
So, dude, this is my thing. If Nico runs out there day 1, obviously that wouldn't be when we heard about it. My point is, if Hypo comes out and announces Nico the starter, and I'm about to say it, shit. Dude.
That was weird.
My thing, we saw Joe Milton.
Yeah.
That was not a facade. They had a great football team, yes. Their defense wasn't anything crazy. But, dude.
Their defense was bad.
Yeah. I mean, until late, right?
Yeah.
So, his first start's Vanderbilt, 55-0. Literally watching that game, you'd be like, oh, he's the GOAT. I mean, the dude, I think he had 2 or 3 incompletions. He threw 5 touchdowns, was just perfect. Mm-hmm. And then he goes and murks Clemson, who had a top 10 defense. If Nico is going to be their starter, it's because Nico is a freak. Now we know Nico's a freak.
Yeah.
So we can be like, okay, whatever. But, bro, if Nico's running out there, Nico is going to be, again, an immediate Heisman contender.
Yes.
Because that means, I think Hypo's a great coach. You don't just do random shit like that in the SEC. If he runs out, bro, watch out.
Yeah.
He's the best quarterback. I mean, damn.
I agree.
That's scary.
I agree. If
Nico, this is a battle.
If you're looking at A+ versus A, and Nico Iamaleava is the A+, then Joe Milton's going to start. Seriously, that's what this is, because you don't run out an inexperienced guy who's just a little bit better than your starter. You need somebody who is, if he's inexperienced, he's got to be the best player on the football field at all times.
That's the thing, right?
I'm agreeing to your point. If he runs out there, it's because he's that much better than Joe Milton.
And that's the problem, because you have the seniority factor there, and I'm going to give Joe Milton his A-. I don't think he's the next, greatest thing ever. I think he's probably a top 10 quarterback in the country. That's going to put you at your A-. If they run out Nico, it's because he's like an A++.
He's an S.
Yeah, like in Madden or an NCAA, whenever the game comes out, he better be a 99 overall.
Right.
Like, that's why they would run him out.
Yeah.
Well, bro, with his skill set and what I've seen from him in high school,
paired with what you've seen schematically from Tennessee.
Exactly. Tom Brady's 99 overall, awesome. Nico's 99 overall, bro, he's going to be it's going to be the funnest thing on earth to watch. He's just nuts.
And that's all speculation.
I mean, yeah. No, I'm just talking about, just truly, though, with his skill set, you look at his skills, you'd be like, damn, that's a good throw. Damn, he's able to do this. The way that he gets to start over a guy like Joe Milton is because all of those things have even amplified more, which means, again, he's going to be so fun to watch.
And the new NCAA game's coming out in, a year, 2 years? Yeah, he's going to be crazy on the sticks.
Bro, it's going to be dumb. And I'll still beat your ass every freaking game. That's crazy.
Okay, so we talked about the loss at quarterback. We talked about the quarterback battle. We talked about the loss at receiver.
Yeah.
Brew McCoy returns. Squirrel White. You saw a little of him in the bowl game. They both return. I think I'm not saying they're going to be Jalen Hyatt and Cedric Tillman, but I think they're going to be sufficient.
So I think Brew McCoy could easily do what Hyatt did this year. It's crazy to say. Hyatt was the Biletnikoff winner. He won the award for the best receiver in the game.
Yeah.
He wasn't. I mean, I don't think that's a crazy take either. I think statistically, I think Brew McCoy can do what. I mean, you take out the Bama game, bro. Hyatt's just a good receiver.
Well, he's a really good receiver.
I mean, you take away 200 yards and 5 touchdowns. Now I understand he did it.
Yeah.
Awesome. But, like,
well, in the way they used him. So they used he was their deep threat. And a lot of times, the way they set up their offense and schemed, they were able to find him.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, that scheme was perfect for him, and they used him perfectly. To that point, I think they'll do the same with Brew.
Yeah, Brew's, I mean, he's gonna be nuts. It's just gonna be, to me, in that spot for the wide receiver one, it's just next man up. I think that's fine. I don't know if Squirrel can be what Cedric Tillman was. Now, Cedric Tillman was also injured a lot of the year.
Cedric Tillman's also a much bigger guy who can go up and high point a ball on the corners. Squirrel White's more of he's a fast guy. I think you're going to see him a lot at the slot. He's going to run a lot of in routes, slant routes, that kind of stuff.
So that's the thing. I'm interested to see.
They're two different receivers entirely.
Right. I'm interested to see what if we see. I got to see what they could do schematically, because that's what you had. You had the big dog, like, go get it kind of receiver, and then you had the field stretcher.
Yeah.
Well, the field stretcher was the one that got to reap the crazy games, the crazy stat lines because of their offense and because he's a great receiver. Don't get it twisted here. He's a great receiver.
Yeah.
But what are you going to see this year from those two? I mean, I think first of all, you see a lot of success for sure. But I wonder how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
And don't forget, we still have Jabari Small in the backfield.
Yeah.
He was quietly probably a top 5 running back in the SEC. Like, he's legit.
Not even that quietly.
Yeah. I mean, really, really good. And again, just to stress, you're going to have a mobile quarterback no matter who they run out there.
Mm-hmm.
Hooker freaking ran the shit out the ball, and you're going to see the same thing from either of these guys.
Yeah.
Milton can run, and so can Nico. So,
all right, so I think we've kind of beaten the dead horse that Tennessee is going to have a really good offense again.
Yeah, the defense.
Defensively, they have to improve if they're going to get to that next level. And for Tennessee, being in the SEC East, the next level is beat Georgia.
Yeah, the playoffs. Yeah.
And so, not even the playoffs. It's get to the SEC championship because they had a great year. They had a phenomenal year, really. Yeah. But that next level for them is beat the team who went undefeated and get to the SEC championship.
Right.
That's a big step, and that's where they are.
Yeah.
So what do they have to do? Their defense has to improve. And look, last year they were bad, but the last time we saw that defense, they dominated Clemson.
Yeah, yeah.
Dominated Clemson.
Look, the reality of it is they had a better offense than Georgia this year.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty far and wide. I mean, I don't think it was too close.
Had a more explosive offense.
Yeah. I mean, they had more yards, more touch. Like, they scored more points. Like, they had a better offense than Georgia's. The problem is that the difference between the defense was far wider than the difference between the offenses.
Yeah.
So you run into a situation where it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing with USC. I'm not comparing their defense to USC's. That's not the case. But it doesn't matter if you put up 41 points a game. If you give up 45, you lose every time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, I mean, the last two games we saw were, again, that Vanderbilt game and the Clemson game. Clemson had a good offense, and they held them to 14 points. I mean, great, awesome. I mean, that's check. That's awesome. That's all you wanted to see. And then Vanderbilt, they freaking shut them out. I mean, yes, it's Vanderbilt, but a shutout's a shutout, period.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of started to come on late. I think that's what you see with a lot of transfers. I think that's what you see with, like, experienced players. You start to see them start to gel. And I don't know if you said this, but, I mean, they have one of the most experienced defenses in the country.
I was about to get to it.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're starting to see – I mean, they have one freaking junior on the field that they're going to run out. Everyone else is older, senior or fifth year. Like, damn, bro. I mean, at some point, again, it's kind of like
all 11 are upperclassmen.
Yeah, it's like the Michigan thing. Like, damn, at some point, they're going to just freaking succeed. They're all, 23. I mean,
yeah.
They're going to be – I think they'll be an improved unit, if nothing else.
And again, I think Tennessee was a more complete team last year than USC was, but I'm going to just go back to that comparison for a second. Much like USC, Tennessee forced a lot of turnovers.
Yeah.
If they can continue doing that and get the ball back in the hands of their offense, they're going to, one, score more points. That you always want that. But not only are you going to score more points, taking the ball out of the opposing offense's hands is huge, man.
Yeah, not to mention, I mean, when you're looking at such a crazy explosive offense and you start talking about scoring more points.
Get them extra possessions.
I mean, my God. I mean, and you're right. You end up with a team that can really just, like, because they kept pace at 41. I mean, they were leading the country with 41 points a game.
Yeah.
If you're able to keep that pace through freaking SEC play and into the SEC championship, like, you're gonna make some noise, like some real noise. Beat Georgia. I mean, do what you need to do, but like, yeah, the defense. I mean, they step up. They start giving extra possessions, and
that's the way to do that is to consistently score 41 a game. Which is it's not saying you're gonna do that. But whenever we say average 41 points, we mean they need to average 41, not score 65, not score 70 and then score 20.
Right.
They need to score 40.
Yeah.
With their current defense, that's what they need to do.
Exactly.
Or their defense needs to get better.
Yes, because what happens is you score 60 and you give up 20. Awesome. You won by 40. Yeah. Keep going. Do whatever you want. Problem is when you put up 13 against Georgia and they score, I think they had 27. I think it was 27-13. You lose.
Yeah.
I mean, simple. And it's the same thing. Like, I'm not saying, but it's either, you have two choices. You can either have such a freaking explosive offense that you go put up more than 27 on Georgia, or whenever Georgia has that down year on offense, and they did this year, their offense really was not elite, you need to be able to hold them to less. I know it's hard. The problem is everything to me, and this is a bad take. Cold take. Coming up. Ready? Everything to me for them is so skewed because of that last game. On offense. I mean, dude, best team in the country for sure. I'm not like, oh, well, dude, they were good, but like they're only good because I just like if they went and scored like 35-7 and that was the final score, we'd be like, dude, I mean, blew them out, the best team in the league, but like, I don't know. I didn't think their offense was all that at all.
I mean,
damn.
Yeah, I'll disagree with you, but that's not the point.
So then let's talk about it, right? They gave up only 27 points to Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean, damn. I mean, if you would have told a lot of teams this year that they would only give up 27 points to, and you didn't even put a name on it, you just said the team that's going to win the championship this year, you're only going to it's only going to be 27 points. Like, dude, a lot of teams they'd shake your hand and be like, let's do it.
Yeah, but I disagree. I think if you told me that, if you said, Joe, Tennessee's going to go give up 27 points to the team who's going to win the national championship, I'm going to say that'll be a fun loss. Because that's what it is.
But what if you're going up against a powerhouse?
You can't let somebody put up the equivalent to 4 touchdowns on you and expect to win.
So you're going into a Georgia game, and I come up to you as the ref, and I say, look, it's up to you. You can either take your chances, or we'll go ahead and put 27 on the scoreboard for them, and they can't score again. Like, bro, if you told me I gave up 27 to Georgia every time I played them, I'd tell you we won half those games. Especially as a Tennessee guy. I don't know. I mean, my point is I don't think the defense let you down there. I think that was an offensive letdown game.
I see the point you're making.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like, I mean, I don't know. You and this is another one of those teams, and it's funny because I sound like a freaking broken record. I promise I look into this more than I'm saying. But it's like you give up, you have this offense that can really go win you games. You don't have to be an elite defense. Just like J.J. McCarthy doesn't have to be an elite quarterback. He could be really just pretty good, and they'll have a great team. You have a pretty good defense, 30th in the country, 28th in the whatever it is. You're going to freaking win games. You have a chance against Georgia if you have a 28th ranked defense.
Yeah.
With this offense. I really do believe that.
The problem is Georgia's defense is so elite.
Yeah.
So if you're just spotting them 4 possessions, hey.
Yeah, it's tough.
You're expecting to go score at least 4 touchdowns on their top 5 defense.
Yeah.
That's rough, man. I'd much rather take my chances and say, let's both start at 0 and I'll force more turnovers.
Yeah.
And they didn't last year.
Right.
They didn't, but that's the point. To me, the sweet spot is if you said every team's going to score 20 points on you, but no one will score more than that, I'll say Tennessee will win 11 games.
Yeah, they'll go 11-1.
Yeah.
I'm with you. But
you start giving them 27, and now I change my opinion a little bit.
Yeah. I'm 9-3, 10-2, and that's what they did this year.
Yeah.
They gave up about freaking 28 points a game.
Yeah.
And we saw them outscore that in about 9 of their contests, and we saw how that went. So.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, they were 10-2 this year.
Yeah.
With losses to Georgia and South Carolina.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean that's what you get, and you're right. You can't go 68. 94, freaking 173, 13.
Yeah.
Like you can't do that. But
yeah. Thanks for watching that clip. You can check out another in the top left-hand corner or the bottom right-hand corner. You can always subscribe as well to this channel or to Cards and Culture. That's linked as well. That's going to be our long-form content.
Yeah, make sure to check out the Discord in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, and we can keep this thing free forever.